Hello everyone. I am Aditya Prakash and I work as a senior DevOps engineer too here at Geekians. And today I'll be speaking on the topic creating a mindset for cost efficient cloud engineering. Before I jump directly into the topic, I'll go through some data, the agenda of the talk, and then we'll continue with this discussion. So, why am I giving this talk? First of all, coming from a consulting firm, cloud cost is one of the major factors that help us convert our clients. And also, we help them optimize their current cloud solution for cost optimizations as well. So, if you see this data, I fetched from Flexera's 2024 State of Cloud report. And this basically shows what are the top cloud challenges that enterprises, small, big companies face when they start using cloud. And the top one being managing cloud spend. So why does this happen? Sometimes something definitely broke in the process, right? That is why cloud spends, you start getting high bills and all those things. So what basically happened? Maybe you did not include cost analysis right when you were building the architecture. Maybe stakeholders are not that cost aware and they are just feature focused. There are certain fears and confusions that the business owners have, because of which they might, just simply go ahead and over provision this architecture. What exactly is causing this unexpected overspending? So in this talk, this is not about talking about certain coupons or using spot instances. Those are quick fixes. We'll basically discuss how do we make that cultural mind shift towards building less, you building more with less cost, because cost awareness needs to be a core part of engineering. So, as the agenda begins, we'll start with how do you think towards cost? What are the various reasons, solution, pitfalls, fears that one might have because of which you start getting high bills? Who are the stakeholders? Throughout the presentation, I'll also discuss about some of the experiences that I've had, and I'll also give certain examples as how increasing cloud cost can start affecting your profitability. And lastly, how do we build the mindset and how do we move towards this culture? So, to begin with, cloud cost should be treated as a feature. In today's world, we are treating latency as sacred, uptime as paramount, performance as paramount, but cloud cost usually an afterthought. And when do you start thinking about it? Usually, you think it right when you are starting with the architecture, and then when you start getting those cloud alerts, as then you are spending way too much on the cloud resources. So maybe by then, it may happen that your user base has grown that much, or maybe say your application has become that complex that it becomes difficult for you to now scale down the resources and bring down the cost of the infrastructure. So there needs to be a sustainable solution and not just lower bills. Again, I would like to remind that cost cutting is not cost efficiency. For example, say you get a you get an alert from the cloud saying RDS is something that's taking up most of the bills that you are paying and on a recurring basis. So you cannot simply go ahead and reduce the RDS size. That will anyways go ahead and affect the performance, the efficiency of the application, thereby touching the user experience. So cloud cost should be embedded right into the process right from the beginning. Next, let's discuss some of the reasons, some of the pitfalls, and how can we, create solutions around it. And usually, these are few things that we here at Geekians do when we face those questions from our clients. Smart scaling. Okay, so what happens when you start learning AWS? What are the first few things that you learn? You learn, you start by creating an AWS account. You learn about the VPC. You learn about the EC2 instances, security groups, load balancer, and boom comes auto scaling. So auto scaling sounds very cool, but it's there in almost every cloud native tech stack. But is it always the best solution? No, it's not. If you are not using scaling properly, it will go ahead and simply amplify the waste that you are putting into the cloud costs. So what let's divide, say, scaling into basically three types. One being auto scaling, second one being predictive and manual scaling, and third one saying no scaling at all. So we receive few of our clients who usually have building, just an MVP product. They are building maybe just few static pages with a basic backend, and they just want to gain the insights in the market, but they also want scaling. So first you have to understand the business requirement, that why do they want scaling? Do they want scaling because it's a need, or is it just because of the fear? And is it just because of this fear that they want to over provision? So maybe there are times when no scaling is required for your application. There are even, say, applications that receive seasonal traffic. So at that time, you can go ahead and have predictive and manual scaling. And when the traffic comes down, you can go ahead and remove the extra instances or the over provisioning that you have done. Lastly comes auto scaling. I'm not saying scaling should not be there in an option, but auto scaling should come with certain guardrailing. So how do you decide it? So either ask the business owner whether, say, you need scaling or not. Do you understand the traffic? Is your code bad because of which it's not performing? You need to consider all these questions. So instead of jumping directly into auto scaling, business owners should invest wisely into tools like using K6, artillery, start load testing onto their application, so that they are able to understand what are the breakpoints of their application and when do they want to scale. So auto scaling with data points in place is something that will definitely help, but simply blindly applying auto scaling is something that is not going to be a sustainable solution. Next, fix the app first. So something, if your say your code is bad, this is something that leads eventually to overscaling and over provisioning. Say if your code is bad, how much ever space you give, how much ever scale you give to your infrastructure, your app will go ahead and take that space. And again, after a few days, you'll start getting the questions of how to scale, what to scale, and all those things around. So it's better that you identify the bottlenecks right at the beginning of your architecture. And I would say one thing, that fixing code is always cheaper than scaling infra. I'll take you through a quick example. One bad query can result in huge amounts of, say, lakhs lost when you're paying the recurring cloud bills. So, say you're using a server that's costing you what, $10,000, 10,000 rupees a month. Just an example. And say you have several bad queries. Bad queries like maybe there is not proper indexing in place, there are redundant joins, optimized paginations are not there, because of which you find out that for your application to run properly, you need 200 servers. So say if you need 200 servers, what's the monthly cost? It will go roughly to 20 lakh rupees a month. So say rather than go ahead and scaling it to 200 servers and spending this huge amount, rather, 1 week a dev team should sit together and understand the performance bottlenecks that are there in the application. Maybe they go ahead and reduce the response time by 10 ms, or say the optimizations that they are doing reduces the CPU usage by 40%. So this will drastically reduce the number of servers that you need. Now, instead of 200, you might only need 120 servers, and you will get the saving of rupees, roughly 8 lakh rupees a month. So if you think of this at scale, you add few more zeros, see the amount of cost that you are burning. If say you are at a very you are a mid-sized company, then remove certain zeros and see, if you start indulging in these practices, you will start saving the cost initially. And if you are saving this, I suggest pay the dev team certain bounty while resolve this. Next comes observability. Observability is definitely important, but observability without thinking and simply, just going ahead and adding distributed tracing, adding logs with less log retention policies, adding undue need of adding application performance monitoring, and all those things can also start burning your cost. So observability is something that is vital, but overdoing it may just without a plan waste budget and cause alert fatigue. So you should invest in observability, but only when there is a need, and the dev team needs to keep in mind what amount of logs they are pushing, and also the infra team needs to keep in mind what amount of logs they are preserving. Next, asking the right questions around. Coming from the consulting firm, this is one of the practices that we always indulge in with our clients. Why do we do it? It helps the client gain confidence onto us so that they can continue on a longer term with us. We always tell the clients to avoid the trap of bigger is better, and we should start at a low level and then grow based on data. you should, go ahead and ask and understand the business requirement. You should ask questions around as I said, what kind of scaling do you need? What kind of load do you expect on your application? What are the traffic patterns? If the client does not know it, you have to go ahead and ask the business owners that they should invest wisely on tools that help them understand this. This will not only help them gain confidence onto us, but this will also help us gain confidence on the infrastructure that we are building and the solutions that we are providing. Because then at a low level itself, we'll try and understand the bottlenecks so that when we scale, we remove those bottlenecks and we can start saving the cloud cost. Next, coming, who are the stakeholders? Is it only the finance team who is paying the recurring bill? Or after the code is shipped to production, is it only the responsibility of the DevOps or the infra or the SRE guys to go ahead and manage the cloud cost? No. There are different stakeholders, even from a software engineer, one who is working on a product, right to the business owner. So developers, when building, should always keep cost effectiveness in their mind. They should always inculcate the culture within their team to ask the questions around that whatever query those people are writing, whatever code that they are writing, will that code be cost conscious or not? Next, the SRE, infra, and DevOps people should not simply go ahead and over provision the infra. They should provision the infra that is required by an application. Infrastructure is something that will not be something same for all the businesses. You need to plan, design, and then implement. Then even architects play a role. How they are designing the app, how they are designing the databases is something that also counts into cloud cost. Product managers need to align their features. They need to understand, the trade-offs between cloud cost, the features, the performance, the latency, and then make decisions around. And the finance team who has to decide what amount of money they want to spend on the infrastructure. I'll give you a small example. Maybe say some business owner comes to you and he wants you to design the infrastructure. How do you do it? Do you simply go ahead and tell him you start with EC2, but then he will ask how will you easily scale? Then would you suggest, okay, if you want scaling, directly move to managed Kubernetes? No, that's not the solution. How you can solve it is start with, say, something like K3s. Boot up a small cluster on EC2 instances. So say if a standard EC2 deployment takes $200, and a managed Kubernetes cluster will take roughly around, say, $800 to $1,000. So if you start with K3s, you get easier scaling solutions also, and you don't overspend as much as managed solutions as well. So it's roughly around 300, 350. You can go ahead and deploy the application and invest some amount extra on understanding the bottlenecks. Lastly, I would say building a culture of cost awareness and governance. How do you start building this culture within your team? As I said, all the stakeholders need to understand their role. People need to start taking, accountability as to whether their actions at scale will affect the cost or not. You need to, as I said, understand the business process, understand the requirements, ask the right questions around what kind of infrastructure do you need, design the infrastructure properly, and have smart scaling in place as well. Using all these things and having the proper cost governance will help you build sustainable systems without breaking the bank. Because if you start inculcating cloud cost into your daily discussions, maybe per sprint plan or maybe schedule it per month, you will start adding more value to your application. And once you start thinking about cloud cost efficiency, start thinking about value, this comes under a bigger umbrella. When you start thinking about that, you will eventually start solving performance issues, latency issues, and thereby improving the user experience. So for people who are already doing it, probably this talk will help you, think or maybe add more pointers to how you think. And for people who are not, I hope this talk becomes an eye opener and you start inculcating this into your, daily practices.